Everybody, we got Vettori versus Dolidze, part two. Something that I don't think everybody wants to watch. Can Vettori make himself title relevant? Nunes versus Cachoeira, probably the worst fight in WMMA history. Andre Lima versus Daniel Barres, probably going to save the card and be fight of the night. Carly Judice versus Judice Duben, a banger. Am I crazy? Let's get into it, folks.
Yo, we at the top, can't nobody stop us. Ring the bell, this one wheel with the homies. Fight night lit, we just type about the drama. Predictions locked, we the kings of the arena. Hey, this fight week, yeah, we up in the zone. Gotta break it down, every punch, every bone. Homies on my back, we stacking that knowledge. You will see, baby, we gon' make them acknowledge.
Here with Red Wolf. MMA
What's
Fool
up,
will
man?
join us in a second. He's stuck in that LA traffic. You know how it goes. What's going
Oh
on,
yeah,
brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. We're just we're preparing for this weekend's card, and also preparing for UFC London next week,
UFC
which
London.
heading down there very, very soon. Manchester boy in London, that can only mean trouble. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fun.
Everybody's gonna be out with their knives like in gangs in New York.
Well, yeah. You've been on fire with the face edits, brother. Let me tell you.
Uh, that's some classic
It's
shit,
gonna be
brother.
big in that butterfly knife. You know what I'm saying?
So sometimes I want to take this butterfly knife to myself. We got UFC cards where the biggest
Mm,
name is Vettori on the whole
yeah,
card. Someone that we haven't seen for a minute. But here we are, Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze 2, a fight that, a lot of people are saying the first wasn't that exciting and we don't know what to expect. But there are some gems in this card, just like there's gems in every card.
hmm
And this one, we got one that I think is going to be a potential fight of the night in Andre Lima versus Daniel Barres. And
hmm
a couple fight. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to get to see a couple knockouts. The first fight that we'll talk about, Kevin Vallejos versus Sungwei Choi. Um,
yeah,
and I mean, I'm not too sure why this got usurped over the Waldos Cortez Ryan span. But here it is. Kevin Vallejos opened the card at minus 470 versus Sungwei Choi at a 360 underdog. Um, my implied odds after I stripped everything down really put it down to a minus 153 for Vallejos and a 153 for Wu Choi. Um, but personally, I haven't liked how Sung Woo Choi has fought in the UFC. He seems lazy, boring, lacks energy, sometimes lacks even a game plan. And he's like lost four of his last five fights
yeah,
in the UFC. And so, I think this is almost like a gimme fight for Kevin Vallejos, who's been crazy posting on social media lately. I
yeah,
mean, this dude's confidence is through the fucking roof.
yeah.
It's almost hard not to be rooting for him. He's got this aura right now that I
Mm.
feel like he's going to starch Choi.
Yeah, I mean, he's even posted that, hasn't he? He's asked the question, who wants to see me KO Choi? And everyone's replying to it. Some people are saying, who's Choi? You know what I mean? Some people are like, you're gonna do it and this and the other. But like you say, I mean, Choi. I mean, he's not the Choi that I know. I know Duho Choi, and um, he's not like you say Su Wung Choi. He's not fighting like the usual Koreans that we know how they fight. They go hell for leather. They like go out on the shield type of thing. He's got a little bit more experience in the cage than El Chino. Not by much, but a few. But yeah, I think this is going to be one of those, add to the highlight reel for another up and comer from the contender series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Monte Carlo sims that I ran on this one broke it down to Villegas winning by knockout 30% of the fights, um, and 25% of them by decision, with a 55% majority going to Vallejos. So it's not, a slam dunk like the odds would try to make you have it believe. They have him
No,
as an
no.
82.5% favorite, which is crazy. And I'm sure people have been throwing money on Wu Choi. I think his last odds I saw were like 285 or something like that. So that people have been trying to ride that train because, any punch can win, right? Any
Yeah,
set can
no,
win.
we've seen it. We've seen it, and it might be worth a flutter. But I mean, Vallejos has only got one loss on his record, and that's to Gene Silver. I mean, that's not a loss that loss is, you know, it's
And
one
by
of
this
those,
and
isn't it?
by
By
decision.
decision.
I mean, the dude hung. So
At least he
totally,
didn't get
yeah.
knocked out. Do you know what I'm saying? He didn't get knocked out by him, which what usually Gene Silver does. Um, and I know him as well. The name rings a bell for me because I remember he was supposed to fight Luke Riley from the UK on the Contender Series. That got cancelled due to a few issues with Luke. Um, so yeah, so I think this is a way of getting him in there, and making a name. But like you say, it only takes one punch. We could see an upset. I doubt it, but Choi could bring it out. But you never know. I think our picks are going to be very similar for this one. I think it's going to be El Chino by KO.
That's what I think. I think El Chino by KO, probably like round two.
Probably, yeah. I'm thinking round two. Feel him out for 5 minutes and then go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Next up, we got DR Nurgozhay versus Brenson Ribeiro. Jesus, I don't know how I'm just messing that one up.
You're
Ribeiro.
saying it better than I would. I'm going to.
I can't. Usually, I'm pretty good with the Brazilian names, but the theme with the whole card that I've been finding out, just for a little side break, is that the odds makers have been hyperinflating the favorite
Mm,
and um, hyper devaluating the underdog. And it's really sort of giving this skewed view of who's going to win and who's not. Like it's putting too much confidence in Nurgozhay and
mm,
beating Brendan Ribeiro simply because of Ribeiro's uh, past UFC record and performance, right? And we're talking about a
yeah.
guy who's making his UFC debut in DR. So a minus 285 on him, I think it's a big steep. I don't think it's too far off, but I got him as a minus 165 favorite. I do have
Mm,
him winning this fight. I think he has advantages uh, striking, and I'm just not too sure that Brenson's going to be able to take uh, Deer down and secure him.
mm. Yeah, yeah. I think I agree with that. I mean, I've seen um, a few tapes where he likes to go, 100 miles an hour. And like I say, I think this will go decision. I think it might go to scorecards. Do you know what I mean? I think they'll grind it out. I think it'll be an interesting fight, very interesting fight. But yeah, I think experience might well out on this one as well. With
That's
Rob.
interesting. The Monte
Mm,
Carlo simulations on this one has Nurgozhay winning 65% of the fights, Ribeiro winning 35% of the fights, Nurgozhay winning 40% of them by KO.
oh,
So
oh.
the Monte Carlo thinks this is going to be a knockout as well.
Mm.
I think it's very possible too, although if it happens, it's going to happen in like the first round.
Yeah, I think if
Because
it, yeah,
I could see that cardio starting to drop off a cliff. And he looked fat. I mean, out of shape. You know, I think he's got like a round and a half, and Ribeiro can actually probably pull an upset if this goes
yeah,
past 1.5 rounds.
yeah. I think in the third round,
So
if he gets to the third round, Ribeiro probably takes over, and
probably could get a knockout of his own.
that's what I'm thinking. Could push the pace and clip him right. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah. So that's going to be another one of those to watch. Watch the fight time odds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That'll
that'd
be a
be a
good
good
one.
prop bet. The over under, 1.5 rounds.
Yeah.
Um,
And then while that,
but
as soon as
yeah.
it goes over 1.5, put your money on Ribeiro.
Yeah, this is a live odds betting type fight right here
Yeah.
where I would make my pick on Nurgozhay, but as the fight goes on, pay attention to those odds because Ribeiro will definitely start having an advantage as it gets into round 2 and 3.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I think I'm agreeing with you on that one.
See, next up, Damon Blackshear versus Cody Gibson.
Cody Gibson. I
I
like
think
Cody.
this is a fight to watch out for here. I think there's a lot of money going Blackshear's way. Not to say that Gibson's a dog, like, he's gonna that he's the dog of the week or that he's my underdog pick. I honestly don't really have any underdogs in this whole card. And
Yeah,
I do have Blackshear favored pretty heavily as a minus 256 favorite on my odds. But Gibson is pretty sneaky.
yeah.
You
I
know,
like Gibson a lot. I think he's a great guy, and he's improving in every fight. I mean, I recently went back and I even posted it on the Twitter page. His submission of Brian Keller. It was
mhm.
in the first round. You know, he dismantled him, took him down, and
Yeah.
squeezed. Um, he's on a 2-fight win streak at the minute. And I think he's on a roll. He's on a roll. Now this is a tough fight. No way, no doubt about it. Blackshear is an animal and can probably shoot your lights out at any minute. But what I've noticed with Blackshear is the fire's kind of not there as much as it used to be. I mean, he got knocked out in 18 seconds by Monte Jackson last year. So yeah, I think this will be a very fun fight. I think it's going to be one of those where anything could happen at any minute type of thing.
And Blackshear is not really known for his knockout prowess. His KO rate is at 13.3%, while his sub
Yeah,
rate is at 66.7%. So his strength really almost plays into Gibson's uh, defense strengths as well.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
although the path to victory is clear, and it is through Blackshear's strength, right? It's getting through the wrestling of Gibson and then getting to his back. Because Gibson's been submitted, I think, like 4 times.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's his Achilles heel, right? It's if you get to be able to wrap his neck or get him in a compromised position from a submission artist, then you can probably dispose of him. And Damon is a submission artist. He's not just a wrestler or grappler. So I think that's going to be his path to victory is getting a submission because if it goes to decision, man, I could
yeah.
see it a split decision.
Yeah, I think as well, like, with Cody, he's got subs and I think he's a black belt as well. So I mean this could be one of those ones where the casuals aren't gonna like it. Well, to be fair, the casuals aren't gonna like this card anyway.
The whole card, yeah.
But if this goes to the ground, we're going to be seeing a lot of slick transitions, a lot of BJJ, a lot of grappling, a lot of things where, if you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to think it's boring. But I think it'll be very good. I think on the feet as well, I think Cody has the advantage on the feet as well. So I think Blackshear probably will be looking to take him down, but he needs to be careful for Cody's guard because I think Cody could maybe slick it, sub him as well. There's a threat. Not
This is
not a threat, but there is a threat.
this is the only fight where the Monte Carlo simulations actually picked the fight to be a 50-50, which opened up my
Really?
eyes to Gibson. I'm still going to pick Blackshear to win, and I'm going
Yeah.
to actually pick him to win by submission because that is his path to victory. But the Sims are giving Gibson some love here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna pick Gibson. Like I said, I think he's a great guy. He's a friend of the against the fence boys, especially Breezy. And if you've ever noticed, I think he looks like a little mini Darren Till.
Well, I don't know if it's a compliment or a diss.
Time.
Yep, just in
I was
time.
here. I've been here listening to you, bro.
But yeah, I think he looks like Darren Till a little bit.
I'd see that.
He's got a hell of a lot of better grappling than Darren Till. I'll give him that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna go with Gibson, probably decision or submission. Decision or submission.
It's gonna
Gibson.
be interesting. What about you, fool? Who you got?
I got. Let's go with Blackshear, man. I think he can get a TKO. If this doesn't go all the way, I can see him getting a submission. I can see him getting a submission. It's a hard fight. It's the odds are pretty. He's pretty heavy favorite, So
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's
I
one
think
thing we were talking about earlier too, how in this fight a lot of the odds for the favorites are inflated. They're not really
yeah,
truly representative of what they should be.
yeah. No, well, you could if you've seen it recently, you start to see it a lot, but it's not like it matters because the judges are the ones that decide at the end of the day. So it's like why do we even watch?
Talk about facts, bro. Talk about facts. Dude, it
Yeah,
is
some of them
sad.
judges.
Something's got to be done
I'm
about
telling
that.
you now, some of them judges are on fucking Bet365 under that table, and that's
Oh
what's.
yeah, bro. They
You know
got
what
big.
I'm saying?
Dude, if an investigation came down to the proxies, their proxy accounts to see who's betting what on which accounts and break that story, oh my God.
especially
That would
especially
be
the fire marshal fight last week. That was yeah, that was a bit weird.
Don't
that
remind
was
me of
pretty
that.
crazy.
Please don't remind me of that, brother. I just got over it. Now I got to deal with it again. But yeah, I'm gonna leave. Let's go with Damon Blackshear on this one. Feeling a little confident. I mean, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the odds at least because let's see what happens. I feel like he can get a submission, man. I see it in the second round probably.
So two of us got Blackshear, possibly by submission. One of us got Cody Gibson. And the Sims have it at a 50-50. So I got my eyes on this fight for sure. Probably staying away from betting on it, except for maybe some prop bets. And I don't even know if I'm going to go live betting on that one. Next
Yeah.
up, Alex Hernandez, the OG UFC vet versus Kurt Holobaugh, who has also been around the block.
Mhm.
I think it's pretty impressive that he finds himself here fighting on a main card. Um, when it was looking like his career was going to be all but over, and he managed to make himself relevant again. I think a win over Alex Hernandez really makes a statement. It's going to be tough going though. Hernandez is still a relevant fighter, and he's still dangerous. How do you guys see it? How do you see it, fool?
I feel like this is gonna be a boring fight. Um, I see a decision. It'll be close. Uh, man, I'm probably gonna give it to just Hernandez, just because he's fought all the people he's fought in the big show, and he needs to win too. I don't know what his. Oh, he actually won his last fight.
Yeah,
Who did
he
he
beat
fight?
Austin Hubbard, who I think
Austin
he
Hubbard.
Kurt Hollabaugh. Yeah.
But then he lost to Damon Jackson, and Damon Jackson obviously has incredible cardio. So yeah, man, I can see Alexander pulling it off. Decision, man. There's gonna be could go either way, but I see Hernandez not his like his UFC experience, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, and they both have wins over Hubbard. I think I misspoke. They both have wins over Hubbard. Hernandez by decision, split decision. Hollabaugh by submission round two. So Hollabaugh actually poses some real danger in this fight. Um, my fight predictor actually has Hernandez winning, and I think it's like we said because of his UFC experience, gives him enough points to edge out. But Hollabaugh, the Sims really do like Hollabaugh. I gave him a 60% chance. 6,000 of the Sims fights, Hollabaugh wins. Most of them by decision.
It's a good
So
bet. I mean, well, like his first stint in the UFC, he lost three straight and like to really good fighters. So that too, like, but he wasn't in the UFC for that long, just like maybe like a year, and then
I
obviously
mean,
when he's back, and I don't know. I mean, he's back for a reason because of the Ultimate Fighter, but I didn't like that Ultimate Fighter season. So, I mean,
bro, I'm almost fixing to change my pick to Hollabaugh here.
I'm sleeping. Yeah, I was going with Hernandez, but now the more I think about it, and yeah, it might, Holobaugh. No, like I say, the same reasons you guys were going to go for Hernandez. The experience. He's been in there with some killers, and he's improved, and he's lost the cockiness now. The cowboy head kicked the fuck out of it. But Holobaugh, yeah, I think, like you say, I don't know. This is my 50-50. This is and both of them need the win, even though they both won the last fight. I think they need a win off each other with this one. I think
my concern with Hernandez is his cardio too. Like he's good for like a round and a half, then he drops off a cliff, and he's sucking for air for for the rest of that. And if he can't put him out that first round, that first 1.5 rounds, I could see Holobaugh taking him into deep waters and winning a decision here. You know what? I'm going to change my decision. I'm taking Holobaugh. Ooh. You know what? I'm going to make him my dog of the week. Holobaugh is going to win by decision, bro.
I love how we changed that live. You saw that live. You saw the cogs working and everything right there. He was like, "Oh, that's it, dog of the week right there."
I think he's gonna survive Hernandez's early onslaught. I think he's gonna clinch. He's certainly got a grappling advantage, and he's just gonna wear him down and then start taking control end of round 2 and all of round 3. So much so that he's gonna have Hernandez just gasping for air and just be a bad visual. That's what Njokuani just showed me.
Yeah, the MMA god. I agree. I think Kurt's gas tank is better than Hernandez. It's like we were saying before about if this goes past 1.5 rounds, the other fight is taking over. So yeah. Let's go with Kurt. Let's give a shout out to. He's got one of the best nicknames I've ever heard. Kurt the Hurt. That's brilliant. I like that.
Wow,
straight to the
crazy.
point.
How you come up with that?
Kurt the Hurt.
Took him all day.
I know. And Alexander Hernandez needs to change his. There's only one great Alexander. Do you know what I'm saying? He's fighting Lopez.
Yeah, Volkanovski. That's gonna be a banger too, man. I don't know.
I thought you meant Volkov.
Volkov.
Volkov, damn.
Put them all in there. Whoever wins gets the great title.
Poatan too. Throw Poatan in there.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Poatan.
Poatan will be.
Is he traveling again or some shit?
He'll be okay, bro. He'll be okay. He's fine.
Yeah. I think he's focused now.
He's got the zins in his. Be that tobacco and shit. He's chilling, bro. He already got his money. You could tell he's like,
We made it to the co-main event, which I don't know about this one. I mean, there's not a lot of pizzazz with Eliezo Zaleski dos Santos versus Chitty Bang Bang and Njokuani. I used to have a lot of hype on Chitty. And then he went on like this 3-fight losing skid, but he's recovered back with 2-fight win streak, one over Jared Gooden and the other one over Reese McKee. So
welterweight too. It's a different weight class, so he's
So he's making his way back to relevancy, and he does have some advantages here over Dos Santos. I think people are thinking that Dos Santos is going to go in and just drop Njokuani. But I don't know. I'm not too sure that's the case. What do you got, Wolf?
So I actually wrote this down as potential fight of the night. Because I feel like Dos Santos, he's got a great output. You remember the Benoit Saint-Denis fight? I think he was just on fire with it. Firing combos and just piecing him apart. Chidi, like I'm the same as you. Like I was big on him when he came in. I thought we're gonna see someone kind of like a mini Ngannou, but it didn't go that way at all. I don't know. It's like you say. I think this is a hard one to pick because both of them are Both of them are good strikers, but I feel like Dos Santos is more of the volume striker. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas Chidi is the power striker. So Chidi could knock him out in the first, but if it gets past the second again, Dos Santos could come in. Dos Santos has got great cardio as well, I've noticed. So yeah, it's one of those. As I say, I mean, I think it could be fight of the night. I think Chidi's going to be swanging and banging, and Dos Santos is going to try and pick him apart. And one thing I did notice is Chidi is a lot taller and has a longer reach, so that could play a big factor.
I think it is going to play a factor. This is another one that I had Dos Santos winning, and as we're speaking about it, as I'm looking at it, Chidi comes to form. He could win this fight. He does have higher output than Dos Santos. He lands more significant strikes per minute. He absorbs less significant strikes per minute. His striking accuracy is much better than Dos Santos at 63% versus 41%. So he's got the ability to beat Dos Santos. And with that reach, if he could utilize his strikes, I think he could. The Sims are favoring him a lot, like 65% over 35% to beat Dos Santos. So, that's what's giving me a little bit of pause. I had Dos Santos, winning here, but I could pick Njokuani as well. And I don't want to start getting too happy picking the underdog just because the Sims said, he's going to win. But he definitely does have a path to victory. Even so, I'm still going to pick Dos Santos. I think the caliber of opponents of whom he beat, Saint Denis, Nurmagomedov, went to a draw with Renat. I'm going to pick him. So, and I know we're starting to run out of time. So,
what about you, Pooh?
I'm a little biased with this pick because I've trained with Chitty before. So he did a seminar at our at my Muay Thai academy or whatever, and then we actually got to spar him and Lorenz Larkin and his brother. So I see a good prop here because he's an underdog. Dope. Yeah, bro. Lorenz is young too, bro. I got pictures. So funny. But yeah, it's hard because I'm a big Dos Santos fan, man. He's fought the caliber of fucking top people. He's 38 years old though. That's one thing that I'm looking into it. And Chidi at welterweight is a different monster. His cardio looked like he's worked on his cardio, which was his number one thing, which kept pissing me off, man. Like that fight with RoboCop, he cut RoboCop up. Remember that shit? Nasty, bro. And
and then he died out.
Yeah. But I see a good prop bet would be a Chitty knockout first or second round. But I still haven't decided which round. I got to rock with Chidi on this guy, boys. Especially he's an underdog, so I feel like that's a good bet. You always get the puncher's chance, and I feel like it's a co-main event too, so it's a good fight.
Yeah, it's a great.
I don't know what the props are. It might be like plus something. I don't know. 180. I don't even know.
The Sims agree with you. I mean, at 65%, so it's definitely worth looking at the money, and maybe even live betting this one as well.
Because if it goes to decision, like the judges, you can't trust it. So like I think a prop bet for this would be
damn thing
better. Yeah.
I can't decide either. Do you know what I mean? It could be a Chidi KO, it could be a Dos Anjos decision, it could go either way, But I'll be happy with whoever wins on this one. But like Fu said, Chidi at welterweight, he's a different kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm still gonna rock with Dos Santos again. I'm gonna go with my fight predictor. I might regret this one though for sure.
Don't put too much money on it.
And I agree with Wolf. No, this is fight of the night. Potential written all over it, man.
For me, I got a potential fight of the night. But let's talk about the Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze fight because this is our main event. We got the number 8 versus number 12 for number 2. The first fight was lackluster. Part of my early statement was Vettori is saying that he's going to make himself title relevant. I just don't see how he makes himself title relevant fighting down in the ranks against a guy that he already beat. I don't know what statement that makes, and I don't know how that moves you up in the ranks at all. That being said, I don't see any way in which Dolidze beats Vettori. He wasn't able to do it the first time. He's got one of the shittiest gas tanks in all of UFC. He's good for a round and a half. He's got really suspect fight IQ. And we know what he's going to do, right? Try to clinch and take Marvin down. And Marvin's takedown defense is pretty damn good. And his cardio is pretty damn good too. So, takedown defense at 69%. Takedown accuracy for Dolidze at 42%. Those things aren't gelling together. I think this is going to be an even easier win for Vettori than it was his first fight. I still think it goes to decision. I got Vettori winning this, though, by decision pretty easily.
The only thing that worries me about that is Vettori being out for nearly a year and a half. We didn't see, last time we saw him was the Kanye fight in 2023. Is it going to be a bit of ring rust there? Is it going to be, anything that's going to call not himself? Do you know what I mean? I'm still agreeing with you. I think Vettori probably gets it done again. But while he's been out, Roman's been fighting. He fought 3 times last year. Kevin Holland, Anthony Smith, Armavov. So he's been staying active and he's fought some good competition. But yeah, I just worry about Vettori being out for so long.
Well,
yeah, I mean, that can take a lot into effect. But I mean, I think Marvin's gonna always be a gatekeeper. So like it's gonna be hard for Roman to beat him again, or to beat him actually, not again. To beat him this time around. It's a 5-round fight, which sucks, man. Because we all know that it's gonna go all the way. I think Marvin just out grapples him. Just a little sparring match. It's gonna be like a sparring match, bro, for 25 minutes. Hopefully we can finish. Hopefully I'm wrong.
I don't know if Dolidze can even last 25 minutes. Yeah, I don't know if Dolidze can last 25 minutes. That's a long time. I don't think he's never fought a 5-round fight.
Yeah, I think Amavov. I think he had a main event against Imavov, or however you say it. And that was his last fight.
Yeah.
Double check
we got one more fight we're going to talk about. It's the first fight. Carly Judice versus Duben. Man, we were going back and forth on the chats regarding this fight. I personally think there's some recency bias in Judice's last overhand KO. It was fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong. But, to me, the level of competition of who she's fought are like soccer moms. She's never really fought a fighter, with the exception of Clark, and Clark got caught. But I think Carly Judice is going to offer more of a striking challenge, a technical striking challenge. Does she leave herself open? Oh, Carly Judice has horrible defense. So does Duben. Duben's got some power. Carly's got some power. You got a 100% finish rate on both sides. So I think this is going to be a fun fight. I think I got Carly beating, but this is women's MMA, and I threw down some money on Duben to win.
Yeah. I mean, Foos had the pleasure of interviewing Duben. That's a great interview. You know what I mean? And I think she's a great girl. She's got that energy and that personality that she looks so fucking cute, but she'll put your lights out. She'll be like, you're watching the pots tonight. I'm like, no, I am. Yeah, I am. Do you know what I mean? So I like Duben. Like you say, the KO went viral. It was beautiful. And I think Dana wants us to be a star. So this is going to be an interesting fight. Do you know what I'm saying? And I am a bit gutted because I unfortunately am not going to be able to watch this card much, but I am going to try and watch that fight. Do you know what I mean? Before I have to go to sleep. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And she's a great girl.
Well, you got 2 minutes.
That's a fight that I would go to sleep right after too, But Chidi's fighting, so I have to stay up. But it's early my time, so I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'll
but I'll
be
probably go to sleep anyways.
dreaming,
But look, hear me out. Hear me out.
dreaming.
Hear me out. She was training in Pittsburgh and at a Gracie Academy, and then the UFC. After she won, the UFC tried to get her to Team Alpha Male, but now I don't know, something happened. She ended up training. So the UFC is trying to send her to good camps, to build her up. She's training with Rose Namajunas and Miranda Maverick, she's that camp up there in Denver. You got to understand, there's a bunch of killers up there. Yeah. So with that being said, she's a striker. I was looking at her record, looked at a couple of her fights. She's a beast. She grew up in combat sports. She has like, I don't know how many black belts, like won so many tournaments, and I'm invested, man. I think the odds are a little crazy, but hey, this is one that I would put money on, man.
So you got Duben by knockout?
I think she finishes her, or if she's just gonna whoop her ass for 3 rounds. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see her ground game working with Doug Rose.
Be a good fight. I think it's going to be a good fight. I did put some money on Duben. I am excited to see that, and I'm excited to see Lima versus Perez. We got like 30 seconds left. I think that's going to be the fight of the night for this card, boys. I think it was a pleasure once again to be with both of you to discuss this card. I know it's very late for you.
Waldo Cortez too. Shout out to Waldo Cortez.
Yeah, the winner as well, fellas. Shout out to the homie chat. Shout out to MTK West Coast Radio. Shout out to
we've got some fun planned for London. We might be doing a live from me in London with you guys.
Let's go.
That's gonna be dope, bro. Let's go, everybody.
All right. See you guys Saturday.